home in Fall River, Massachusetts, resembles any historic residence in the heart of a small city. Oh, but this house is more, much more. It's the house that put Fall River on the map.
Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her mother 41.
We're listed by the Travel Channel as the #1 creepiest place in the world. We're on another show, Haunted Hotels. I feel kind of proud about it because, not because we're haunted necessarily, but because of the recognition it gives to the house.
The Borden home was the scene of 2 brutal murders in August of 1892. The only person arrested was the victim's own daughter, Lizzie Borden. A jury found Lizzie innocent. If a guilty verdict was returned, Lizzie might have been hanged. So who killed Andrew and Abby Borden? 116 years later, the mystery keeps Leanne Wilbur in business.
It definitely looks like she did it. But then you look at it, the case from a different angle, and you say, how could she have done it? So therein lies the great mystery that will keep this case alive for years to come.
But is the house haunted? Paranormal investigator Matt Monis has spent countless hours here. Matt is a Harvard grad. He works by day as a pharmaceutical physicist. He has the names of 12 other people that witnessed a picture frame tossed by an angry spirit.
The photograph, stand and all, jumped up, stopped in midair, rotated twice. The middle stand came whizzing at my head, so I'm ducking out of the way. Then the picture started spinning in a high-speed rotation and launched into the middle of the room and ended up under the coffee table. Now, I work as a scientist, and I have no problem using physics where it's applicable. But when things start happening beyond that, that's when I sit up and take notice, because according to what we're taught, that's not supposed to happen. But yet I'm there witnessing it.
The home attracts visitors from all over the world.
It changed my mind about Lizzie Borden. I have a totally different aspect about her. I'm wondering if the maid did it now.
To me, it was really a premeditated way of doing it, and she was thinking about it a long time, and she did it.
Andrew Borden was hacked in the head with a hatchet 10 times while dozing downstairs. Investigators performed the autopsy in the home right here on the floor near the sofa. Doctors removed Mr. Borden's stomach contents to determine the time of death. Yuck, an autopsy right here, right in this room. And this Empire couch certainly resembles the original, but this is a reproduction. This one's nice and clean. Now, being a local girl, I heard the Lizzie Borden tale countless times growing up. I always begged my mother to drive by 92 2nd Street whenever we were in the city of Fall River. General Manager Donald Woods says not everyone is as brave. Some folks avoid the sidewalk outside the stoop.
You know, it's funny. A lot of the locals will do that. They'll walk by the house, and if they're on this side of the street of the house, they'll cross over to the other side of the street. Then they'll walk by the house, and then they'll immediately cross over back to the side of the street they want to be in. I don't know if they're superstitious or whatever.
Gift shop manager Dee Monis believes the past is very much alive here.
I felt cold spots in this house, voices, movement on the 2nd floor when there's no one up there. So I've had my share of experiences in this house.
Scientists defleshed the skulls of Andrew and Abby to be used as evidence in Lizzie's trial. This is the hatchet head that may or may not be the murder weapon. In some forensics tests, the blade fails to match the wounds. Abby Borden was struck 19 times in the head. Matt Monis says it's no wonder the victims are at unrest, active enough to move his night vision gear.
Boom. That was the first moment.
And again, after the camera was replaced.
It did it again.
During a sound session with high-frequency gear, Matt picked up what sounds like a proper Victorian woman saying, "I was a good daughter." Andrew Borden was a banker and invested in real estate. By today's standards, he was worth over $10 million. A lot of that money was willed to Abby, Lizzie's stepmother. Lizzie and her older sister Emma felt cheated. There's your motive.
It wasn't a friendly relationship at all. And it had to do with a lot of money and property and a lot of secrets. Money and property were going to the stepmother, and Lizzie were not being told about it. They found out from outsiders. When they found out, they were furious. They no longer trusted their stepmother.
The house is open for tours and as a bed and breakfast. Guests may sleep in Lizzie's room, the maid's room, or here in the room where Abby Borden was hacked to death.
To say you own this house is not just saying I own the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast Museum. It's I own a piece of history. And that is an awesome responsibility to have, trying to maintain the history of this house and the legend and the legacy of this house.
The ghosts failed to make an appearance while I was visiting. Matt Mona says there's a reason.
Ghosts are like cats. They do what they want when they want to. They do what they want when they want to. And just as people are independent and free will, they do as they see fit when they see fit too.
Lizzie's story ends at the Borden family plot at Oak Grove Cemetery. Lizzie remained in Fall River until her death in 1927. If she was indeed the killer, she never confessed. At least, not yet. Reporting for Comcast On Demand, I'm Pamela Martin.